charge it to her brain and not her heart. You know what I mean? Hello, Universe. What's up? It's Brandy 619, and we're gonna talk about Solid Sunny. I know y'all probably tired of talking about her. Solid Sunny, I know you probably tired of everybody talking about you. However, I want to say this. I want to talk to all the other vloggers out here, okay? All the other content creators, right? So listen, everybody knows that this young lady has been through a tremendous amount of trauma, right? And when you're a person who has limited ability to do the things that you otherwise would be able to do on your own, it tends to come out in these manic episodes, you know? But charge it to her brain and not her heart, you know what I mean? This is a young lady who has to tell herself every day that she is strong. This is a young lady who probably every day on the daily, come on, go. Let's go. Every day on the daily. Watch out, bitch. Should I be tall like, see, y'all saw my frustration just come out right then. Like, because the dude was hindering me from being able to do what I'm trying to do, and then you just jump in front of me, and then you gonna drive like driving Miss Daisy or something, and then she want to come and pull, like, it just got too much in that moment. However, you know, people tend to get, you know, frustrated when they feel like they're trapped in a situation, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna hear this young lady popping off. You're gonna hear this lady throw temper tantrums. You're gonna hear this lady go through moods of crying, and then the next minute praising the Lord, and then you're gonna see all of that. It's gonna come off a little bipolar, and to be honest with you, she was, you know, in a very severe accident which could have caused some trauma to her brain a little bit, you know. And so she has these children that she's trying to take care of, that she can't fully care for. She can't even really will herself around on her own with the use of the one hand. I don't know why she doesn't have a power, why they automatically didn't give her a power wheelchair, you know what I mean? So that in and of itself is a struggle. When you have some guy who comes and preys on you, because that's essentially what he did, even though she initiated the praying, okay, P-R-E-Y, she sought him out to come do an interview with her and tell her story so that she could grow her channel. In the process of that, you have someone who preys on people, and they're in the midst of their storms and in the midst of their trauma and in the midst of the results of their trauma. And we watched him go from the Yana girl to the Layla girl and now to Sunny. You have to believe that she thinks to herself, does he really like me or does he not, you know? And I think that Marcus, a part of him was in, his heart was in the right space, but he still is controlled by his flesh, okay? And so, you know, probably in a moment of weakness and drinking or whatever, and her having a good time with him, you know, she thought, I don't know if she thought that could possibly go somewhere, even though everybody tried to warn her, everybody tried to tell her. But when you're in a situation like that and your world has been turned upside down, bro, you seek companionship, you seek, you know what I'm saying, you want that, you desire that, right? So first of all, that takes, for any man or any person to do that. It's going to take a certain kind of person who's going to be willing to give all of themselves to a person that needs all of them just on a day-to-day. So she knows that she has to depend so much on other people for so many different things. But she's a young, independent woman, or she once was a very young, independent woman. So she's trying to relearn these things all over again. You know what I mean? We think because of her age that she should have more game than that. That she should, like, game should be able to recognize game. You know what I mean? But not when you've lost so much. You try to hold on to the little bit that you do get. Now, she's still having to relearn how to become this new person. And that takes practice. Until she really gets a real solid setup for herself. I don't know if she has a nurse that comes in however many hours a week to help her do certain things. I don't know if she has run to the drinks and the weed or whatever in order to numb, but alcohol definitely is not one of those things that's going to help you numb. That's something that's going to help you feel even more. And so she's going to be going, she's drinking, she's going to be going through having these manic episodes. And so I think it's important for us to really just get this lady a pass for right now. She does talk reckless, but when she's frustrated, you know, she's reading the comments. There's so many trolls on there already just upset that she even gave Marcus, that she fell for Marcus's antics. And so they on her neck, they on her head, you know. And she's not in the space to really be able to ignore it because she has so much time on her hands. So this is where, Sonny, I want to talk to you. Because at this point, you know, just like we know what the deal is with Marcus. You keep calling this man babe and all this kind of stuff, and he's told you in so many words and through actions ever since y'all came back from the spot that his focus is his children and his new business ventures. Himself, you know, may be able to slide through here and there, but he got to get that money. On the phone, he was like, you better answer this phone, you better not embarrass me. He answers the phone, and then you come with the foolishness. And there was a level of immaturity that was there that for me was even a turn off. So for this man, and he is a very grown man, not to say that he's not immature himself, but he's a very grown man, and he takes care of a lot of different business stuff. When you call him playing like that, he has to say, okay, I'm just playing, no, I'm just playing. He's like, look, man, okay, well, you know, don't trip about what they on there doing, but I gotta go get this money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go get this money, let me go do what I'm doing. And you at the house playing like a child. It becomes a turnoff. You know what I'm saying? When you really get in your bag and start doing things for yourself, and when he starts calling, you say, hey, let me call you back because I'm busy right now, I gotta get this bag, is when he's gonna start respecting you in a different light. Not just him, most men. Okay? So I'm not gonna tell you what you need to do, but I'm going to encourage you and suggest, I'm gonna make a few suggestions. All that pain that you feel, because I see it in your eyes, girl. I see it in your eyes. It translates. Your pain translates through the camera. And I know that you like to be on camera because you know that you're a really pretty girl. And I know that you're smart as well. But when you're on here, you're probably going to want your beauty from the inside to shed light on the world. You're probably gonna wanna let what's in your mind, not your brain, shed light on the world. So I would encourage you, all the pain and all the things that you're feeling. I know you're a creative person, because like me, I also was an exotic dancer at one time. I know that you like music. You always listening to music. Why don't you grab some music? There's so much free music out here. You can inbox people who have free music on YouTube and ask them if you could have some of their music. And a lot of them would tell you, yeah, as long as you give them a shout out when you put it on, you know, whatever. Why don't you write some of this stuff down? Do you rap? Do you sing? Do you paint? React to some of our stuff. Like, I got a gang of videos on my stuff. I got cooking videos. I got all different kinds of stuff, man. You can go in there and talk stuff about my stuff. Talk stuff about me. But, you know, just know it takes tough skin to be in this game, in this social media game. Because these people out here, they ruthless. They don't care that they living way worse than you or me, but they gonna talk the biggest stuff about what you doing and what you need to do and how you need to do it. Because they not putting their stuff out here for everybody to see. Is that smart? Probably. You know, but if you are a person who has something to share with the world, you can't let that kind of stuff get in your way. You can't let that kind of stuff stop you from growing, bro. And if you're not growing, then you're dying. And right now, people are on here watching you crash out. And they're enjoying it. They're enjoying it. I'm going to be honest with you. When you went on that thing with Marcus and people started following you, those people were not following. There probably was maybe about a quarter of the people who do follow you that really wanted to see what you really had going on in life and how you really manage in life and what you really have to offer and how you can really help somebody else. But the other 3/4 of the people knew that this was about to be a train wreck, and that's what they wanted to see. A lot of times people flock to other people's drama because it makes them feel better about themselves. Ooh, look at that. What she going through is way worse than what I'm going through. And really, it's just direct reflections of themselves. Now, it's hard for me. Your stuff comes up on my feed because sometimes I watch Marcus's street interviews. I'm not subscribed to you, but your stuff comes up on my YouTube feed, right? And every now and again I'll check into a live or something just to see, you know, how you doing. And you on there wilding out. You telling people to pull up. You telling people to come outside and all this kind of stuff. You calling everybody bitches and all that kind of stuff. And you have to ask yourself, if you run into any of these people on the outside, what are you going to be able to do if they really take you serious? Like, honestly. And if you ever get to the point to where these people do take you serious and you and say you got a pistol or you feel like you need to shoot somebody or whatever the case is, how do you think that that's going to affect your children? They already almost lost you once. They don't need to lose you again. They don't need to see you come back home slapped up because you've overspoken. Sometime if you need to cry, shut it down, cry, come back in a couple of hours when you got it together, come back the next day when you got it together. And then you can express yourself in a healthier way. You do have some people out here and some YouTubers out here that really are looking out for you. And they are giving you constructive criticism. I know constructive criticism doesn't always feel good. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I know all about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something. In my days when I was out there dancing and doing all that extra kind of stuff, I was going through so much, bro. I was at bottom, like rock bottom, bro, rock bottom. And I was like, you know what? Let me give Jesus a try, you know? So someone took me to church with him. I went with him to church, but I was really in such a space where I was like grasping for straws. Mind you, I've been raised in the church, but you know, we don't turn away from, God don't turn away from us. We turn away from the divine, right? So I went to the church because the lady invited me, you know. I got there. I went in what I had, which was probably something kind of skimpy, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the life I was living. And I'll never forget the mother of the church, well, it was the first lady, came and gave me a cloth to put over my legs, right? Because my skirt was probably short. Yet I wasn't sitting in the front pews or anything like that, but still. And initially I was offended. And I was offended because I didn't understand it. I was offended because I thought that I was being judged. I thought that they were looking at me like I was beneath them, you know what I'm saying? Or like I was filthy. So they gave me this cloth, but I sat there and I sat through the sermon and I let the message permeate. I really was taking heed to the message and not the messenger, right? And so when church was over, I felt really, really good about my future in that moment. However, I was still offended that this lady came and gave me this cloth in front of everybody, which drew attention to me. However, me not realizing that I had already drew all the attention to me because of what I had came in there wearing, right? However, anyway, I felt like, who are you to judge me? Like, you don't even know my story. You don't even know my walk, right? Because I was there in what I had. And one of those scriptures that always stick out all the time, people always say, hey, come as you are, come as you are, come as you are. And that doesn't just mean on the outside, but that means on the inside, because God is going to work with you on the inside to create a new creature, okay? So when church was over, she came to me and she introduced herself to me. And she said, I'm so glad that you came today, you know. I think she told me the reason why she gave me the cloth. And so I understood that, you know. I understood. You don't want to cause anyone else to stumble, you know what I mean? So, you know, people are looking, people are feeling away, people are whatever, you know, and you just want people to be focused on the word and focused on God and nothing else. So, you know, there is a space where there's modesty. So she just gave me a little something to kind of, you know what I'm saying, take the edge off. Because when I tell you I was stacked and I'm still stacked, okay? So, and at that time I was like 20, 21 or something like that. So, you know, I was hitting from every angle. So anyway, she offered me some clothing, you know, if I came back, that she would have some things for me and X, Y, and Z. And I appreciated her explaining to me why she gave me the cloth, but I appreciated her even more that she offered me something that I could use, so when I come back to church, you know what I'm saying, I would be dressed a little more appropriately, a little more comfortably as well, because I was uncomfortable in the clothes that I had on, but it was all I had. And so with that, I accepted the correction. And when I accepted the correction, I was able to fully accept. I was able, not fully accept, but I was working my way up to full correction. I was working my way up to really receiving God's love and God's blessings. You know what I'm saying? I had stopped. I even started changing the way I dressed just on the outside. So when I would go to the regular stores, I would buy some other things. I still look cute, you know, but because you can't just hide your body when your body is the way your body is, unless you're wearing a muumuu. You know what I'm saying? But I still look cute, but it was much more modest. You know what I mean? So I allowed myself to accept the correction. And I think this is a time where you have to be able to allow yourself to accept the correction. And the correction is not from the people. The correction is from God, girl. These are people who God has sent in your life to help correct you. He's using his voice through all these other people. Another thing, I'm not sure if you ever talked about what led up or what happened, how your accident occurred. I'm not sure if it was something that you did. I'm not sure if it's something that someone else did. I'm not sure if it's something that you contributed to, but I think it really would be great if you really shared those nuances and those ins and outs and truly tell your story. You know what I mean? Because I do remember, I think when you were talking to Marcus, you didn't really want to talk about what was actually happening, going on when you had your accident. Just that you had the accident and here we are. So, that may help get some things off of your chest. A lot of times I was in situations, it was because I put myself in those situations. And there were other times where things happened to me that I felt that wasn't warranted. Why did this happen to me? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? But when I started to grow inside, and when I started to grow in God's love that he has for me, there are a lot of times that he's saving us from utter destruction. He may have taken your legs, but he's giving you a new walk. You know what I'm saying? If I only had one hand, when you start basking in God's love, you'll learn how to just, you know what I'm saying? So I know, in essence, it's a battle between spirit and flesh. I could not begin to tell you anything about what you're going through, how it feels, how you're thinking, any of that. But I can tell you that it is important for you to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can't keep telling people, and again, I said I wasn't going to tell you what you could and you couldn't do, but I would suggest I would suggest you solely speak life into yourself and other people. You have the ability to change the narrative, even when they're talking crazy. You have the ability to truly stand on truth of the matter. I got a story on here where I talk about being AR'd one time by somebody that I knew. But really, when I look in hindsight, that night I had got too drunk. I just fell out. One side had too much. Like, he sat and waited and watched. And was I upset with that person? Heck yeah. That was crazy. And when I came to the next day, I said, why did you do that? That was R. And I never spoke to that person again. I didn't call the police, but what I did do was I paid attention to my behavior and my actions. And you have to get to a place of accepting responsibility for your own stuff. I promise you that's going to help you truly move forward in life, where you're the one that's taking control of what's going on with you. When you see that somebody is stepping out of line, you have to set those boundaries for yourself. I don't care who it is. With the arm that you do have that works so good, grab those girls, hug them, and just hold on to them. When you feeling the way about how the world is treating you right now, grab those girls and hold on to them. And focus on them as being the blessing. You're on the internet with millions and millions and billions of people. You have to be able to take the good with the bad. I suggest you figure out how to do that. But most people on YouTube have a schedule. They write down what they're going to do, what they're going to talk about in X, Y, and Z. Because when you tarry too long out here in them streets, like you do on them live, 12-hour lives, 10-hour lives, 6-hour lives, like, girl, you could really be doing something really creative instead of sitting on that live making yourself sick with these other people who are scared to put themselves out here the way you have. All right? So there is strength in you, girl. There is strength in you. Exercise it. And that doesn't mean by talking loud, yelling at folks, calling people names, and all this different kinds of stuff. Again, you have the ability to change the narrative. You also have ability with that hand and that finger to push that block button if you want to. They don't even got to be in there. You can make your page for members only if you want to, or doing whatever for members only. You can have people paying to be a member if they truly talking about how they really want to support you and all these extra kinds of things. Then you'll really see who really, really, truly there, to really support. But when you talk to the people who are, because these people are supporting you, even the haters, even if it is giving hate, like you like to say, even if it is, they helping you stay in the algorithm because they're watching. So don't tell them to log off. Tell them to tune in. You see, you have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. All right? So I don't already talked for way too long. I don't know if I'm going to edit any of this, but it is what it is. Come on, girl, tighten up. All right?